in 1883, there were 5 prospectors, including a man called Alfred, travelled towards Gunnison in Colorado in the high hope of being lucky enough to find gold. The travellers found themselves with very low supplies, and to make matters worse, they were exposed to relentless freezing winter months. They tried their best to battle the freezing cold, but it turned out that their only option was cannibalism. This led to murder. Alfred was the sole survivor and was convicted on 4 counts of murder on Friday the 13th, April 1883. Packer's defense was that his fellow travelers had turned hostile towards him and he was forced to kill them, and the only reason he ate their bodies was out of necessity. Whether it was true cannibalism or out of bare necessity, Alfred was convicted on Friday the 13th. Michael first noticed he could see the future when he was a little boy. He was in the kitchen when he told his mom, "Be careful cooking, there is going to be a fire." Michael's mom Judy checked to see was anything on fire, and it wasn't until a few minutes later there was a fire broke out, but luckily she put it out very fast. Judy found it strange wondering how her 8-year-old boy knew there was going to be a fire, when she was certain there was not one sign of it a few minutes ago when Michael warned her. The next time Michael noticed he could see the future was a few weeks later when he was in school. He was walking to school when he had the premonition the school bus in front would crash into a car. No one would get hurt, but he sensed it would happen, and sure enough, it did. But luckily, like his premonition, no one got hurt. These premonitions carried on through Michael's adulthood. They became different though, because now when he had a vision about something, it wasn't clear. He had a vision that his friend Mark was going to end up in hospital, but he couldn't figure out how he ended up in hospital. Luckily, it turned out to be something simple and not serious. Michael learned how to deal with his premonitions, and because they were so blurred compared to when he was younger, he even began to try to ignore them, unless of course someone was in real danger. One day he got a premonition that really shook him up, as he could see someone was going to shoot him on Friday the 13th of January, and it was now Thursday. He became paranoid and locked himself into his room after telling his wife make sure no one would come into it. He was confident that if he made it past Friday the 13th, then he would be able to live his life as normal before getting this vision. He even had his father's gun with him. It was Friday the 13th. Michael was sitting down, scared so much that someone was going to break through the door and shoot him. He looked at the clock. It was only a few seconds to midnight. He hoped once he made it past midnight, then he would be safe. Suddenly, as the last seconds of midnight ticked away, his hand involuntarily held the gun to his head. He screamed in horror, never guessing the person who would kill him would be himself. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content.